I just watched the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy for the very first time. Here are my parting thoughts after the 9.5 hour long journey. Right off the bat, it's very clear this is one of the greatest film trilogies of all time. The journey that you take with these characters throughout these three films is insane. It's such an incredible journey. You get so connected with these characters, and it deserves to be in that conversation. I think for me, I have it maybe at the number three spot. I think I still like the original Star Wars trilogy and the Toy Story trilogy better, but I think each film is still great in their own ways. If I were to pick a favorite out of the three, I would definitely pick Fellowship of the Ring. That one is the closest one in my head to being a 10 out of 10. I gave each one on Letterboxd a 4.5 out of 5, which is basically 9 out of 10. But I really think Fellowship of the Ring is clearly the strongest one here. You get to see the team forming, you get to see the world building, and then you have the team together throughout most of that film. And that I think is one of the strongest things about it. And one of the things that the other two movies are really missing. And I didn't realize this until I Googled it because when I was watching these films, I saw they were released these three-hour long movies back to back for 3 years. And I found out that they filmed all three movies over the course of one consecutive year. That is so insane. There's no way any movie series like this could ever be done like that again. And it really shows. You can tell that every character looks the same throughout. No character is really aging throughout. And again, they were able to release them back to back over 3 years. That's just absolutely incredible and such an incredible achievement. And I really hope I'm not alone on this statement to say that the MVP of this trilogy, in my opinion, is Samwise Gamgee, and it's not even close. Even though I think Frodo and Samwise's whole story and journey kind of took a back seat in the second and the third one until the end of the third one, I still think Samwise was easily the best character on this whole out of this whole cast of characters over these three films. When he got his time to shine, Sean Astin knocked it out of the park, and I loved every second we got to see with Samwise Gamgee. And after all that, I'm pretty sure Samwise could lift Mjolnir after all this. I don't know. He was such an awesome character. And another huge highlight from these movies is definitely the scale of the world and of the armies and the battles. It all looks very well done, and the scenery of it all is just so beautiful. These films are so gorgeous and very well shot. And one thing I really love talking about when it comes to these movies is the way that in the wide shots, anytime there's a hobbit in the scene, they clearly subbed out like Elijah Wood or Sean Astin with a child actor. But I thought it all looked so seamless and so perfect that if I would have been 10 years old watching this series, I probably would have thought that Elijah Wood was like 4 feet tall. It's just little details like that that make these films so great. I do also really want to touch on Ian McKellen, who I thought was probably the runner-up for me to be the MVP of this series. Ian McKellen is so great in anything he does, and he is so incredible as Gandalf. Even though I knew he was going to be coming back in the second one, his whole reveal was all very well done. It was all awesome. His new look was incredible. And I think if I were to pick a favorite moment from the entire trilogy, it's the "You Shall Not Pass" moment. It's very iconic, and the whole scene was just very well done. Ian McKellen's screaming that line, incredible. Absolutely gives me chills. And I thought Andy Serkis as Smeagol/Gollum was also incredible. People really don't give Andy Serkis enough credit just because he's mostly behind motion capture in some of his best performances, but he is such a phenomenal actor. He could play a character like this. He can play freaking Caesar, one of the greatest characters in all fiction, and he can do so many other great things, but he just doesn't get his dues because sometimes it's behind motion capture. I did have a few gripes with these films. They do feel incredibly long when you're watching them, but you feel like you do really need every minute because there are so many storylines going on. So you really need every single second to have these storylines breathe and have them have a proper ending, like I felt that they did. And of course, these films are 20 years old, so the CG doesn't look the best at some points, but I can look past it because it overall still looks very good. Another few quick positives: the design for Sauron's eye is so incredible and obviously very iconic. Watching it in action in these films I thought was very well done. It really does personify the whole concept of evil very well. I also thought that the war elephants in the third one were so awesome. That was such a great choice, and the design on them was so cool, having like the spikes on the tusks and everything. Incredible. And I feel like it had a very, very good ending. The whole reunion where you see Frodo reuniting with Gandalf, and then you realize in that moment they hadn't seen each other since Gandalf supposedly unalived in the first one. It felt like it had been 10 years since they had been in a scene together. So it was such an incredible moment that I didn't even realize was such an awesome reunion at the moment. And then obviously everyone else comes in and they have this great moment together. It's such a great way to cap it off. And then the whole ending overall, very, very well done. And once again, Sean Astin's performance absolutely destroys me. Sean Astin just did so good. Again, I can't say enough praise about him as Samwise Gamgee. But anyways, I'm so glad I finally got a chance to watch these. They are so good. I would love to hear your opinion on these movies. What are your, maybe you guys have some gripes about these movies? Maybe what are your favorite moments of these movies? I would love to hear from you guys. I want to hear more from the Lord of the Rings community to see what kind of stuff is the popular thing, what is the iconic thing that I may have not mentioned, stuff like that, or what other stuff I should be looking into. Should I watch the Hobbit movie, stuff like that? Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think about the Lord of the Rings trilogy.